Good afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with the Simpler Stocks free video for October 25th, 2016. So you can see it's about 29 minutes before the bell. Today is all about the FANG stocks keeping the entire market up. What do I mean by that? You have the Apples, the Googles, the Amazons, the Netflix. Netflix is sold off now, but the Teslas, Facebooks, the biggie stocks. And the point of them is they have really masked some of the narrowest of the market. So to show you what's going on right now, the ES is up 9 points. NASDAQ far outperforming, up 54. Like I said, this is by the big NASDAQ stocks, or a lot of people like to call them the FANG stocks. You have the Russell right now up 6, bonds down 16. This divergence I've been warning about on the Simpler Stocks premium side, that when we're going right now in a historically strong time of year, a lot of times you see the bonds underperform the ESs. That becomes a bigger and bigger divergence, and then it sort of snaps back into gear sometime in December, like last year. You have the industrials right now up 71, SPX up almost 9, transports up 35, trying to just hold their head above their breakout point, and they're really rooting for the weekly chart to start kicking in gear. You have gold down 30 cents, 330. Can't tell you how similar the charts of the bonds and the gold are. Very interesting in there. Crude down all of 30 cents. It was down almost $1. You have the dollar index actually up modestly. You have the Advance-Decline very narrow today. For the ES is up 9. This is only plus 513. That's exactly what I'm saying. The NASDAQ, the FANG stocks, that big old up 54 is masking that there are almost 1,200 declining stocks. Very interesting in here. The other thing in here, we have the volatility index getting pounded again. Typical kind of stuff you get at this time of year, where you just you get a contraction volatility, and it first presents itself in option prices, which then goes into the VIX futures. You have natural gas getting pounded again. The second I finally mentioned natural gas, it got right up to its fire line up here. This is sold off 50 cents, 55 cents in a week. That's incredible. But just realize in May it was down at $2. $2 to $3. Pretty impressive in here. In fact, this looks like a penny stock or something to have that kind of volatility. The interesting thing is now it's getting oversold at a tree line, probably near a bottom. I don't really trade it. I'm just saying I love to watch the volatility. You have, like I said, the UVXY, one of the worst products ever known to the human race, down 97 cents. It's a depleting commodity. If you don't believe me, check out the weekly chart of VIX. This isn't a mistake. It really was 1,600 in 2014, and now it's 13. It loses value every day because of the structure of its product. Be careful if you ever trade it. Just to keep that in mind. You have today the German DAX up about 0.3%. DJ China up about 1%. Good move in there. You have the Nikkei up about 90. So the idea here is we are at a big critical juncture, and let me show you what I mean. So I always get excited talking about this. First thing, bonds. I want you to show you that bonds, and if you unlink it, gold, are both overbought in a downtrend. We've gone through all the videos that we share that have the free videos on the premium side, all about indicators, and that when the red line gets above 0, which is a short-term MACD, and the blue line is still way under 0, and it starts hooking down, that's a sell signal, as long as the product is under its 49 EMA, as you see they are. Both of those, I'm not saying we're going straight down, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them both test the low. As you zoom out of here, let me just show you, you'll see how similar, even from January, gold and bonds are. Very curious to watch how the correlation between both indexes. The top was the same day. The rollover, very similar. So very interesting on how that works in there. What I've been talking about on the premium side is this time of year, I wouldn't be surprised to see the SPX stay levitated and the bonds have another leg down, like this overbought in a downtrend, had them at least get to 162. Now, what I wouldn't be surprised is to see this, is to see the SPX try to follow the NASDAQ up And the bonds just going down like this, and they sort of both have a mind of their own temporarily. And then having everything hit the fan in December. If you don't think that's possible, go and look where bonds were last December. We're going to put a 3-year chart on here. And then the SPX 3-year chart. And notice that right here, the bonds are selling off right in this area when the SPX was going up. And then all of a sudden it reared its head all at one time, really about the beginning of January. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing happen in here as well. So just to let you know, though, in the meantime, we have to decide, are we having a big old breakup? Are we going to have just a continuation of this sort of squeeze? Let me show you what I'm watching. I'm going to link both sides here. ESs. Obviously in here, they're stuck in a range. But that's just part of the equation. I know they're stuck here at the bottom, but there might be a downward trend line here. I've been posting this in the premium side for a while. I know also that if you take a 195 or a 78 on the right, that we have this here, that we're trying to invalidate that right there. So the whole idea is that very interesting to see if they're going to invalidate this bearish pattern. The idea in here, though, and this is where it becomes very curious, is look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ just powering over any resistance, new high, and you got to think with earnings of the biggies this week, led by Amazon and Apple, that if this continues to break up, then you have to think, and I'm going to go and put the NASDAQ on the right on 195 and the ES on 195 on the left. There's a certain breaking point where you have to think that this is finally going to just invalidate this thing that was invalidated on the right, that this is going to finally power above that. Hasn't happened yet, but that's what I'm wondering. And that's where bonds come in here. Two things. Earnings of the big NASDAQ stocks. Obviously, if they're lousy and reverse, then all bets are off. Or two, if the bonds really collapse, it could eventually pull the ESs down. But for now, when the NASDAQ is going to a new high, really nerve-wracking to try to short the ESs. And that's what we're trying to figure, how to game the system. And that's why, like today, I showed 6 bullish charts. Somebody said, why didn't you show bearish charts? Because the market actually looked pretty good. When I see this happen, it's very difficult for me to want to go crazy going short at the moment. Maybe later, but not now. So just so you know, we still have the $7 30-day trial. That includes your chat room in the morning from 9 to 10 in the morning, the premium videos, and the email alerts. Very proud of the email alerts. I put out at least 6 chart ideas every morning, and I show 6 index charts every morning. There are a number of people that don't even trade stocks. They just subscribe for the index and futures charts because they say they're the best they've seen. The other is we show unusual option activity. Not to trade options, but options precede price. If I see some really outsized option activity, I post it, but I combine it with chart patterns and the overall market perspective. Our actual track record has been very high on those. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this video. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow. I'm telling you, the earnings coming out, Tesla, Amazon, Apple this week could be really key. Everybody take care.